What happens when the place meant to protect your dreams becomes the place that quietly kills them? What happens when the walls you sleep inside hear your prayers every night, but never answer them? And what do you do when leaving feels just as terrifying as staying? My friend, this is not just a story. This is a mirror. Before we go any further, subscribe to Echoes and Struggles. These stories are built on hope, courage, and real-life lessons. And if you stay until the end, you may find the strength to make a choice you've been postponing for years. Stay with me. Marcus Hale was 37 years old when he realized fear had quietly rearranged his life. He lived in Columbus, Ohio, in a narrow townhouse that looked safe from the outside. Trim lawn, locked doors, neutral paint. It was the kind of place real estate agents described as a good investment. But inside, it felt like a waiting room for a life that never arrived. Marcus worked as a mechanical technician for a large manufacturing plant. The job paid enough to survive, not enough to dream. Every morning he put on steel-toe boots, a faded work jacket, and a face that said, "I'm fine." At home lived Silas, his older brother by 7 years. Silas was louder, sharper, dominant. After their father died, Marcus moved in temporarily. Temporary turned into 10 years. And slowly, subtly, the house that should have offered security became a place Marcus tiptoed through, measuring his words, shrinking his opinions, shelving his dreams. Marcus once wanted to open a small auto repair shop. He had sketches, business plans, hope. But hope doesn't survive long in a place where it's mocked. Money couldn't fix what was happening inside that house. Neither could loyalty, nor patience, nor silence. Silas controlled everything: utilities, groceries, decisions. Every disagreement ended the same way. "You need me," Silas would say. "Without this place, you'd be nothing." Marcus believed him. One night after a 14-hour shift, Marcus came home exhausted. He'd been offered a training opportunity, a step toward certification, a step toward independence. When he mentioned it, Silas laughed. "You really think you're capable of more? Dreams don't pay bills." Something in Marcus collapsed quietly. That night, sitting on his bed, boots still on, Marcus stared at the wall and whispered a sentence he hadn't admitted out loud in years. "I'm afraid of my own home." If you're listening right now, pause with me for a moment. Have you ever stayed somewhere? Not because it was safe, but because leaving felt impossible? If that's you, drop a comment. You're not alone. The shift didn't come with fireworks. It came in the form of Mrs. Evelyn Turner, a 72-year-old neighbor with arthritic hands and a stubborn smile. One afternoon, Marcus helped her carry groceries. She noticed the grease under his fingernails. "You fix things?" she asked. "I try," he said. Her garage door hadn't opened in years. Marcus fixed it in under an hour. She paid him with lemonade and a sentence that cracked something open. "You don't know how much strength you're sitting on." A week later, she introduced him to her nephew, an independent mechanic who needed part-time help. No interviews, no judgment, just kindness. The first time Marcus earned money using his skill, his dream, something shifted, not outside, inside. Marcus started staying later at work, saving quietly, planning carefully. He helped Mrs. Turner with errands, volunteered on weekends at a community auto clinic. For the first time in years, his life expanded instead of shrinking. One night, Silas confronted him. "You think you're better than me now?" Marcus felt the old fear rise. Then he remembered the garage door, the lemonade, the belief someone else had placed in him. "No," Marcus said calmly. "I think I deserve peace." That sentence changed everything. Within 3 months, Marcus moved out, not into luxury, but into freedom. A small studio, one chair, one table, silence, and hope. 2 years later, a modest sign went up on a quiet street: Hale Auto and Repair. On opening day, Mrs. Turner cut the ribbon. The mechanic who took a chance stood beside him. Marcus wasn't rich, but he was whole. He laughed again. He slept without fear. He dreamed without apology. The place that once broke him no longer defined him. He had chosen courage. He had chosen kindness. He had chosen hope. So let me ask you, are you staying in places that are slowly erasing you? Or are you brave enough to build somewhere new? If this story touched you, like, comment, and share it with someone who needs courage tonight. And subscribe to Echoes and Struggles, because your story isn't over yet. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is walking away so your dreams can finally breathe.